C2 Wrestling Podcast. It's Royal Rumble week, baby. It's Royal Rumble week. I'm so excited. CTD, Snowden, the honorary Oos, Alec, Ryan will also have picks from Kevin and at some point Patty V doing the Rumble predictions. I am defending the C2 Wrestling Championship as the second ever champion. This is my first title defense, and what an honorary man I am. There may have been the honorary Oos as the former champ. The honorary man I am. There's about 1,000,000 picks on the line here with the Royal Rumble. I can't wait. It's the best time of the year. But before we get into the Rumble, before we get into predictions, before we get into our numbers for where we'll be coming out in the Rumble, subscribe. If not, you're a coward and I hate you. And follow everyone on social medias. Do it now. Honorary Oos, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm recovering from wisdom teeth surgery. So, other than that, I'm pretty excited. I'm trying not to smile too much because it hurts, but I'm very excited about the Saturday. Very unpredictable. We were talking about it, before we logged on. Very unpredictable Royal Rumble. Very exciting, which makes this Royal Rumble even more exciting. The excitement's really built up for me throughout this week, and it's really pushing me to get through this week. How about you, Snowden?
How about me? Typical Snowden. I'm getting over being sick. I still got this cough. It's tracking me down over the literally, it's been like 2 weeks and I cannot shake it. So I'm going to be probably muting myself a little bit left and right here. But you hear from me every week. How's Ryan doing? The number one yeeter. How's the number one yeeter doing?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. Royal Rumble week. Always a good 2 p.m. Royal Rumble style. I'm ready for this one. Ready to get it out the way early. I'm, I can't wait. How we doing?
You know, don't get me wrong. The 2 p.m. start time is sickening. Like it's not the same. But if it were a time that we all were able to get together, a 2 p.m. I probably would have preferred like a closer to a 4 or a
Let's say a
5
4 or
p.m.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been the worst thing for like hangout purposes because we all like chill after and linger whatever. But with it being on a Saturday and all right, I think there's a UFC pay-per-view on at night, so I guess that helps a bit,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
but it's just not.
They just always feel weird, these midday ones, bro. They
It,
always
you
feel
know,
weird to me. No matter what, like whether they're convenient, some days inconvenient. They just always feel weird.
the midday shows, not that they've all been bad by any means. There's been a lot of great ones, but they don't typically hit the same. I said it the other day in our podcast review or whatever that if this Rumble turns out to be a stinker, usually you just go to bed after. But now I gotta like let it sit for a while, then go to bed. Like oh my god, it's gonna be kind of miserable for a few hours. But hopefully things turn out all right. And Jey Uso goes back to back.
I mean, for
Ugh.
you, it's not a few hours. Snowden, you'll be up for like 14
Yeah,
hours
another
until you
day.
go to bed.
Yeah, another
Yeah,
day. Yeah,
yeah, you'll have to linger on it for quite some time. I don't know. The
not a
Rumble's
joke.
like it's the great PLE that like the Rumble Mania kind of SummerSlam, where right after it ends, you just immediately replay it. Like you just even if it's
Yeah.
just background noise, especially when you're watching in a group setting, you want to like all right, let me like, I want to see there was a certain match or a certain moment that I want to like actually have my attention on because I was too busy wrestling Kevin in the corner at that moment. That's pretty much how shit goes when you're watching the Rumble. But it's so like cliche that it just feels different. Like if the show sucks, it's going to feel like we didn't just have the Royal Rumble. Like it's going to feel like we just got some exhibition show and the Royal Rumble is actually in a few more months. And that's gonna really fucking suck. So they better knock it out of the park and not have this show stink.
Yeah, the promotion, we've kind of beat a dead horse here too, but this has been more promoted like a Saudi show than it has been the Royal Rumble. So it does worry me a little bit, but hopefully they do something big. I'm looking forward to it, but we've got a lot to get into.
That we do. We have four matches and a whole bunch of tiebreakers. We've got Gunther versus AJ Styles. If Styles loses, he's gone. He
Get out
gone.
of here.
Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship, which I've got more to say about that match than the actual match itself. We've got the Women's Royal Rumble and the Men's Royal Rumble. And then our tiebreakers. We have the first two entrants in the Women's Rumble and the Men's Rumble. We have the final four, Women's Rumble and Men's Rumble. Both of those, every one you get right, you get a point. So if both people that you guessed are there, that's 2 points. If neither of them, you get zero. If one, you get one. Same with the final four. Then we have the longest lasting in the women's, longest lasting in the men's, and who comes out first? Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns? And finally, does Chris Jericho return? That
Let's
is
also don't mean to cut you off, but let's add shortest time watching the Women's Rumble. Everybody vote me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we will also randomize all six of our names. We have 5 entries in there. And whatever number we get on the first randomization will be our entrant numbers for the Women's Rumble. And then on the second randomization will be our entrant numbers for the Men's Rumble. The way that will work, your number, whoever, say, Jey Uso wins from number 2, whoever's name was on number 2, you get a point. If you pick Jey Uso to win, you double up. You get a Jey Uso point from your original prediction and that third extra point for having the pair. There's a lot of points on the board. I am a defending champion. I am an honorary man. I am going to retain if we're being honest. Because even though there's a million points on the board, I've got full confidence in my picks. So I think the best way to start it off is, since this is a Gunther Stan account, and we also are day one AJ Styles lovers, Gunther versus AJ Styles. Ryan, I'm interested on your thoughts.
So, at first I really didn't think there was a chance Styles was going to lose this. Like, it kind of snuck up on me that they were really doing a Styles retirement. Once they announced the Nakamura match, like, it seemed like that was a sudden move to do a big, not monumental match, but like a notable match from his career. Like, oh, okay, they're just interesting. And then, long story short, I got Gunther winning this match and getting Styles out of here. Maybe one of you guys will bring up where he's going to head for the rest of the year. Alec, what do you got next?
Yeah, with very, very sad. Definitely have Gunther winning here. I would love AJ to win. Again, I kind of agree with Ryan here. It definitely snuck up at first. I was like, all right, there's no way they're doing this. When they first, he's like, I want you to put your career on the line. And then after they did the Nakamura match, and then his recent match again, I was like, oh no, I think we are going down this route. I'm like, it's a little too much for Monday Night Raw facing CM Punk. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gunther winning here, but yeah, I do think he will end up somewhere else as well for a couple more months throughout the year. But I'll leave it up to Snowden and Chris to talk about that.
Yeah, Styles has said in the past he doesn't want a retirement tour. I've seen so many complaints by fans, like, how could they do this to Styles? They're not doing this to Styles. I think Styles wants to be done with the WWE. My pick is Gunther. I think the match, though, might be total nonstop action. And I think it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a good send-off. I am disappointed. Nobody wants to see AJ Styles retire, of course. I'm disappointed it's in Saudi. It's kind of out of nowhere. They ran back a hit with Shinsuke. We got that Punk match great. There's still so much more they could do with Styles that it makes me look back on that last 5 years of his WWE career and realize how much they wasted him. We all kind of knew during that tag title run with Omos, and post that, Styles was just nowhere to be found. But it's really starting to sink in that he never got that championship run again. and he really should have before he's done. But we'll see. I think he is done. Gunther's my pick.
Yeah, the Twitter threads that have mentioned like, oh, he's pretty much been on this retirement tour the whole time. They just haven't really made a big deal about it. At first, I was like, all right, yeah, I'll put a little bit of stock into this. And then they just went like 0 to 100 with making it pretty clear that he's probably done. And yeah, it sucks. I mean, his appearance on TNA, he teased going for the TNA championship. I said after his Punk match that I would imagine he's going to face Kaz one last time. I know him and Kaz are close. It just feels right that he finishes in TNA because look, he spent more time in WWE than any company, which is crazy. But he is like Mr. TNA, even though he has not been there in quite some time. It is fitting for him to have at least a few more matches there, boost their ratings, boost their shows. I just got tickets. They're coming to Atlanta for 2 nights, and I texted my buddies that there's a good chance Styles is here because now Raw is in Atlanta in February. You would have assumed, oh, this is going to be Styles' last. I know he's from Gainesville, which isn't exactly 10 minutes down the road, but still, Atlanta is like, AJ's homecoming. You would assume, oh, he's going to be on that Raw. That'll be like a big moment, that it's his final, show in Georgia or whatever. But he might be gone before then because that's not until the end of February. Slide in those TNA shows. Well, that might be his goodbye to the Atlanta folks, the Georgia folks. I don't know. Maybe, they swing back around for Bound for Glory or something and we get his final send off, whatever. I know he doesn't want to go into the Hall of Fame or go into the TNA Hall of Fame, whatever. He's going in both of them, whether he likes it or not. But he's also going to sleep Saturday. And I hate to say that. But I don't because I love Gunther.
Yeah, it's tough. It is again just disappointing to see him retire. If I had my choice of how AJ Styles maybe not retires, but retires from WWE, Gunther would be one of the choices. I don't know if I would have done it as soon as they're doing it, but it could be worse.
It definitely could be. And on the Gunther aspect, I know Styles is kind of like the focal point. It is not outlandish. Gunther has one of the most historic shows in wrestling history, ending AJ Styles' WWE career and then winning the Royal Rumble, or having a feud set up with, said, a Brock Lesnar. That is, I mean, you may as well retire. Like, that is, if not becoming a 17-time champion, a historic night that who knows if you can ever top. But the WWE Championship match, one of Ryan's former foes, Drew McIntyre, against. Okay,
Let's not say
yeah,
former. Let's not say former.
Semi-current.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll write I'll write former in pencil, not pen.
All right.
Yeah, against Sami Zayn, and we've heard Ryan's rants on certain wrestlers at times. I don't think I've ever heard Ryan rant like I see online about Sami Zayn. I don't get it. Like, to me, Sammy embodies everything that you would think people on social media would love. I mean, for years, he was. This guy was, first off, one of the best wrestlers out there for years. Incredible run on the independents as El Generico, who goes off to tend to a farm. Beloved pretty much his entire career. And then just randomly, like, there wasn't even some, like, notable moment where, like, oh, say, I guess maybe they say when he beat Gunther, but even then, people shit on Gunther, so that makes no sense. He's all of a sudden Sammy Hogan to everybody, and it's like, this guy's nickname is the underdog from the underground. Like, where was I when Sammy is a 10-time heavyweight champion, burying all this young talent? So He wins the match in Montreal that we expect, is going to face Drew for the championship. He's never beaten Drew, I should add. He's facing him for the title, and people are bitching about it because plenty of people are writing off that he's going to win because it's in Saudi. You would think he's 45 and 0 against McIntyre. He's never beat the guy. I've seen nothing but hate for not this match, for one half of this match. Like, it is blowing my mind. That being said, I'm picking Drew McIntyre, but it is blowing my mind. I don't get it. What am I missing?
I don't think you're missing anything. I think it's just the internet finds themselves in fads of who to love and who to hate. If Trick Williams would have won that Fatal 4-Way at Saturday Night's Main Event, people would have loved that Trick is in it. But then that other side of the coin, oh, too early for Trick. Trick's not even that good in the ring. Shout out Meltzer. It's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody to hate. Right now, it's Sammy for whatever reason. He hasn't beat Drew, like you said. I bet you Sammy's like total win-loss record is heavily losses in comparison to wins. His U.S. title run, he only held it for a few weeks, a couple solid defenses, open challenge, but he didn't hold that belt forever. He made an event at WrestleMania, deservingly so. He was beloved back then. I don't know. I agree with your point. Like with Jey Uso, there is kind of like a pinpoint of where like the fandom started to turn. There's not with Sammy. There's nowhere in there for me that makes sense to turn on Sami Zayn. I'm also picking Drew because I think Drew's going to win and Sammy's going to take another L here. Underdog from the underground. Like, that's the story they're trying to tell. He's going to lose again until he eventually gets the big win. That big win is not this Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, I don't understand the Sammy hate online at all. Like, I seen it, but again, a lot of the wrestling fans are fickle, so makes sense. But Sami Zayn's story gives me like the Daniel Bryan story, what we grew up in, like watching at the end of like our high school. Like, we were rooting for his underdog story because they play like his size and he can't, beat the biggest guys in the ring. Kind of like they're kind of going that route, but very slow with Sammy. And now Sammy was like favored to win the Rumble like a couple months ago. And now it's like underwater. He has a title match. Great. I'm also picking Drew here, but I don't understand where this hatred for Sammy comes from all these fans. And again, like Chris said, it's not like he's won a lot. It's not like he's won major titles. So it's like it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it is laughable at this point. It's just like those are the pages I just mute because it's like you're just trying to find something to complain about, and no fan's ever going to be happy. So, but yeah, I think Drew's going to win here. I think Drew's going to go into Mania with the title. Who that's going to be against, no idea yet. We'll talk about it maybe later. But yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be a slow build, and it's been a slow build for Sammy. Um, and eventually it's going to pay off. But when will that be? No idea. But we got to sit and enjoy the ride. But some of these people want to jump out of the car before the ride actually goes. So,
Yeah, I think Sammy sucks right now. I'm just kidding. No, I totally agree. I think that's the most random thing ever that people are actually hating on Sammy. The Sammy Hogan thing. I mean, people they've given multiple people that Hogan moniker. The Sammy Hogan is the one that makes the least sense. It's like, what are you even talking about? He doesn't win anything. Like, it does. I don't know. But I'm also picking McIntyre. I just don't think it's. I don't know. It just doesn't. I'd love it if Sammy won. I'd love it if Drew lost. But I don't think. I don't know. It just. I'm also kind of a fan of them hot potatoing that title right now because I ultimately think it's going to end up back with Cody one way or another somewhat soon. Maybe not at Mania or whatever, but I'm okay with somebody else getting the title too. Like, Drew, you got it. You did it. Good job. He can lose it to Sammy, and I feel like that's okay. I don't think it's a slap in the face to lose it immediately because I ultimately think it's just going to go back to Cody. But I do have McIntyre.
If they do want Sammy to win the title, it almost has to be he loses here and Drew goes through Mania as champion to build Drew up even more. And it's this guy Sammy's never beat. He faced him again and lost. Drew goes into Mania. We kind of all, I mean, we've said it multiple times. Like, we don't expect him to have the longest reign. You look at Mania, good chance he drops the title, whether it's against Cody again or a triple threat or a fatal four way, and somehow he walks out as champion. You start setting up towards like a SummerSlam where Zayn really gets built up, and Drew at this point has a 6 month title reign that we kind of weren't expecting, or a 7th month title reign that we kind of weren't expecting, and he's now that next level. Then that's when Sammy should beat him. Him winning here just kind of feels rushed. Like, I don't hate it. You know, the hot potato is nice, but Snow, and you've kind of said it like best. These big moments, you want them to happen at the proper stage. And it doesn't have to be Mania to be the proper stage. But having Sammy just like a month and a half, 2 months ago, was facing Solo and the MFTs and like wasn't even a thought until like 2 weeks ago, he gets qualified into the match. Then the next week wins the match. Then the following week wins the title. Like, that is just you rushed a 6 to 8 month story for 3 weeks, which completely kills like all logic in someone in Sami Zayn. And you could say they kind of did that same thing with having him beat Gunther. That kind of felt a little sudden. It wasn't the quickest thing, but it was a little more on the sudden side. They could have drawn that out a little bit. I don't think they would make that mistake again here, so I'm picking Drew. But let's get to the big matches. The two that are going to have the most picks, the most differences. First things first, I have a list. I'm gonna pull out my phone and record it just for our purposes. What I'll do is I'm gonna hit randomize. I'll let everyone know who got number 1, number 2, 27, and 30. Those feel like the most important numbers. So for the women's rumble, I hit random. Oh, it actually lists them. Perfect. So Ryan has number 1. Patty V's got number 2. Number 15 is Kevin. The great number 27 is Alec. I got 28. Kevin has number 29 and 30.
Wow.
For the women's rumble, that's a great spot. And then I'm going to click again.
I didn't even get a number yet.
Here, Snowden, your first number is 6.
Great.
And your latest number is 26.
6 and 26. I'll take it.
And then for the men's rumble.
Dude, did I get 25?
I already hit next.
Fuck, bro. I said to Snowden before, just randomly give me lucky 25.
I'll look at it while we make these picks. For the men's rumble, Kevin's got 1, Alex got 2, Snowden's got 3, I've got 4 and 5. We go to the end. Ryan's got 26. Patty V's got 27. Kevin's got 28. Snowden's got 29. Kevin's got 30. What the
Oh,
fuck?
come on.
So Kevin in the women's rumble has 29 and 30, and the men's rumble has 28 and 30. How does he always get shit like this? How does it always go his way?
It's not right.
That's funny. That's usually how it works.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll shift things to the women's rumble. We have our predictions for the match, the first 2 women in the match, the final 4, and who lasts the longest. We'll start with the winner because this one will probably have the most similar answers. I'll go first because I think it is the chalkiest. I do think Bianca returns and wins the Rumble. She is my pick. But if you told me Santina showed up and won, I wouldn't be fucking shocked.
Or
Yeah.
mad.
Or mad. Or mad. Yeah.
Or mad.
I'll back it up. I wrote it down. I think Bianca returns and wins the Women's Royal Rumble. She might not even be ready to return. You know, who really knows? I think it's reasonable to pick her. but I almost just think it's unreasonable to pick anybody else. I have no other idea of who it could really be. So I think with the women, I'm going with like, even though she's not around, what is the typical answer in Bianca Belair?
I should add, Kevin has Liv Morgan. He
Mm,
also had Drew last round, but I figured we would all be on Drew, so I didn't make a
yeah.
big stink of it. Same with Gunther. He's got Liv Morgan, which in my mind that might be the number two. Like if there's
Yeah,
no
that's
Bianca,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's Liv.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
Yeah, I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
my
lie.
that's kind of my worry that I
Yeah.
picked Bianca. If she's not back,
yeah.
I think Liv's gonna win.
Yeah. At
And
number 30.
yeah,
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 yeah, of
yeah.
course.
Nah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have Liv winning. I've Liv and like I wanted to pick Bianca, even like flirting with putting Bianca in the final four, but not knowing like is that
Yeah.
just a waste? I do have Liv winning, but you know what? I do have to say this. I genuinely, I promise you, I'm not kidding. I can't remember a single women's Rumble winner ever since Asuka in 2018 when we were there. I don't know who Liv could have won the past 3 years. I have no idea who won last year.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
oh,
won
come
for
on.
a second time.
I would have
And
never
That's
guessed.
that's her
Becky
second
and
win.
Bailey have also won.
I just
Bianca's
I
won.
like
Bianca has
Bianca's also
won.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
she
has
won
Liv
from number
won?
one.
Liz never
Bianca
won.
won from number one, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
won.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Liv. I don't know. I just think she's the only. She's like the only
And
like women's wrestler I can think of.
and Ronda, is that the last one or is there another?
Did Ronda win the Rumble? Oh my
Yeah, because
God.
She
didn't
won
Vince
with
want
Brock.
Ronda to eliminate everyone?
She won the same
Jesus
year Brock did.
Christ.
It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the hell is
Yeah, Vince
this?
Vince thought about having Ronda eliminate all 29 other women.
That would have like
Holy
in
shit.
hindsight just been hilarious. Like the
She
meme
still
of
would be on Twitter and be like, they
Ronda
treated
throwing
me
everyone
bad.
over.
They
Yeah.
should have made it a 40 women's rumble and I
Yeah.
eliminate 39.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. 29 is not realistic enough. I would have eliminated 40. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
And the
Entry number 40,
commentators.
Amanda Nunes. Yo,
Yeah.
that'd be the best troll ever.
Winner faces Holly Holm.
Yeah.
All right.
Alec, who you got?
Yeah, so I have it written here. I did change my answer before we went on the video, and these are the two. So I'll show you I have proof. It's Bianca and Liv Morgan. So I had Bianca first, but I crossed it off and I went to Liv Morgan
Oh, okay.
I love that.
because I feel like Bianca, again, I debated, I was like, is she going to return? Because there is a lot of like stories out there about her injury being like worse than it was out. So I was like, okay, she could return. Should make sense in the storyline. But I'm gonna stick with my gut and go Liv Morgan here. I think getting somebody that hasn't won a Rumble, that was also a reason why I went away from Bianca. If she's never won, easy pick for me. But Liv Morgan has never won. Liv Morgan is really like developing this like leadership mentality on TV. And you could see like she's like up there now with the women. And she
I
was
think
gone
she's
for
the
a
number
bit.
one. I think she's the number one woman, to be honest. Like in WWE, I don't know. Like in my opinion, maybe not like accolade wise, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I think she's the best one.
Yeah, she's up there. And so I think I'm just stick with my gut here. I'm gonna go Liv Morgan here.
Go
Don't
Alec.
know how it's gonna fit the story and where it's going to go, but they'll make it work. Liv Morgan is from to see really where she's been from the beginning when we watched her many years ago to where she is now. It's like it's crazy the growth that she has made from on the mic in the ring to her attire to the changing everything. And she's really become a star. So I'm excited to see what they would do when Liv Morgan wins the Rumble.
I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on. We've seen Bianca's finger and it looks horrible. There's going to be a day with the advancements of AI and whatnot that at some point some wrestler's not going to actually be injured or like I know we had the Rollins ruse, but like we saw the picture of like Bianca's finger and in the background is a football game. I think it was like a college football playoff game or whatever. So you're able to like timestamp it. Photoshop normally it's got to be a really good Photoshop to even slightly dupe people. whether it comes to like a finger injury or something, at some point, a lot of us are going to get duped by something. I think that was the real deal. I think she obviously has been injured this whole time. There's too many pictures of it. I don't know when she's due back, which worries me for my pick. But at some point, someone's going to get us. And it's going to fucking drive me insane. Because this isn't it. But it'll happen one day. It's inevitable with fucking technology.
You know, I do want to add just a little piece of credibility to the potential Bianca win where, as I think this, I am kind of talking myself into the plausibility of Liv winning. Liv versus Stephanie makes sense. That could easily happen at Mania. Stephanie beats Raquel. Raquel couldn't do it. Maybe Roxanne gets a go before Mania. Roxanne can't do it. And then Liv gets the eventual Mania match. But who's going to face Jade? There's nobody for Jade outside of Bianca. And Bianca could just win the chamber too, don't get me wrong. But one way or another, I think Bianca finds her way to Mania. And I think that's the only way is chamber or the Rumble. So Bianca Belair.
All right, the first two entrants for the women. I will say Kevin's. I already have mine written, but I will go after others. Kevin has Io Sky and Lyra starting the women's rumble. It's a solid shout.
Okay, that is a solid shout. First two in the Women's Rumble could be fucking anybody. This could be anybody. This could be somebody we haven't seen in 20 years to the most prominent superstar today. But number one and number two, I'm trying to think like, not like feuds necessarily, but just like little moments. They try to have little moments in these Rumbles all the time. Last year, the men, Ray and Penta, started the show. You know, they started the match. For the women, Nia Jax, Maxine Dupree.
Mmm.
I like that.
I think Maxine, the underdog story, is going hard with Maxine. Not saying she eliminates Nia, but I can see there being a moment there. I also have to emphasize again, I have no fucking idea. So it's pretty much a guess.
I love these answers. I love these answers. I'm going to go with Rhea and Nikki
Oh
Bella.
shit.
Oh, fuck. See the text?
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Alec. I did see
I
that
just saw
text.
it.
That's why I said, "Oh shit, what a mess."
Oh man.
Let's probably
Kevin
keep
joined
it in
AEW. No, sorry.
Tommaso Ciampa just debuted in AEW. I'm sorry, Alec. I was reading Pat's text. What were your picks? Just so I can write them down.
Yeah, so my picks, I'm going with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Bella.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Ryan, you got yours?
I do have mine. And Snowden, I hate that you stole part of my idea with Nia Jax, you motherfucker.
My favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
I did go with Nia Jax, and I actually picked Roxanne as the other. Roxanne
Okay.
and Nia Jax.
Okay.
But Maxine Dupree is a much better pick. I wish I thought of that. That's really
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking Jazz and Lita or something. Like
No,
again, the
literally.
women's rumbles could be
Molly Holly
anybody.
again,
Yeah,
of
Molly
course.
Holly for the 9th time. There's been 7 women rumbles. Molly Holly's gonna get her 9th entrance this year. You know,
Oh, Maxine and Nia is so good. Damn.
it makes sense.
That's
It
so
makes
good.
sense,
Yes,
right? Like
that's
I
so
like where
good.
I'm thinking, even though it's wrong, and neither of them are gonna be 1 and 2.
That's why I
I
went
like
like
where my
Nia
head's
and
at.
Roxanne, like the size
Yeah,
difference.
same thing. Same thing.
And like
Both
you know,
heels
but,
though. Both
but
heels.
I know. Maxine is that fits perfectly what I was going for.
All right, my 1 and 2. I too was thinking moment, crowd reaction. How do they go about this? I went Charlotte and Alexa.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
I think
That's
they've
good.
been-
That's good.
They've been really hamming up this
Damn.
friends and whatnot. And this is the first moment that they've got to shake hands and go to fisticuffs. I said before we came on to the pod that I have this thinking and I'm going with them, but I could see it being for others. I can see them starting with a tag team because almost 90% of the women's division now are in some sort of tag team, whatever. So there's a great chance that this is Bailey and Lyra in this spot. This is a good chance that it's fucking Kiana James and Julia for all I know. I just went Charlotte and Alexa because they're the two biggest names, and I could just see the crowd reaction of like, Charlotte's name coming out first, and then the horns of Alexa going, and the crowd having that like moment set in of, oh wait, this is a team that's starting out 1 and 2. So that was
I
my
think that's
pick
good.
for the first two women.
I
Like
think
that.
that's good. I do like that as well. That makes me rethink my choices a little bit. I also got to add to that. Did Charlotte win from 30 last year?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that it's a good like counter. She was 30, then she's won.
Yeah, dude, I was just thinking that
You
she
know?
won last year and like comes out first this year. That's really good.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I do have a history of first two entrants
Yeah.
being on it.
Who do you guys think is gonna be number 3?
That I don't have that I don't have great success.
No, do you remember? Like, I feel for number 3 that year, I don't know who you guys had as the pick when Kalisto came out, but I know one of us had Bubba Dudley, and that's the
Yeah.
only person I think of for that.
Did
Bubba
we? Because he
Dudley.
was the year before.
Maybe I'm tripping, or Kurt Angle.
Yes, we definitely Angle is definitely in the mix because that Rumble it ends and we're like, no Joe, no Angle.
Oh yeah,
Well, see, but
yeah.
I kind of remember what Ryan said. I remember looking at the list and it's saying number 3, Ryan's best friend. So it would
Oh,
have
that's
to
right.
be
See, exactly. That's
Bubba
what I was
Dudley.
thinking, bro. He
Yeah,
just
yeah.
texted me. That's what reminded me, bro. That's crazy.
In parentheses, it said smile.
Yeah.
Cool. Good at booking too. Just the absolute worst, an absolute horrible person, bro. Just everything about no redeeming qualities. Tell me one good Bubba Ray Dudley match, bro. It doesn't.
Powerbombing Mae Young and powerbombing
Dude,
Dixie Carter.
That's all he's got, bro. That's all he's got.
God.
We go to the final four. And this is where it gets interesting because we obviously know one of each of our final fours. Because, I mean, unless you wanted to try to cheat the system and you
Hedge your
went,
bets.
hedge, oh, I picked Bianca. I'm not going to put
Yeah,
her in the
I
final
thought
four.
about it, but I
about
stayed
it.
true. I stayed true with mine.
Yeah, I also stayed true. I'll read Kevin's, then I'll read mine. Kevin went Liv Morgan, his winner, Roxanne, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki Bella. My final
Good.
four, I went Bianca, I went Rhea, I went Io, and I went Liv. And I did not go Liv because of how strong I think our odds are. I went Liv because hasn't she been in every single Final Four in like the history of the Rumble?
Makes sense. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
She's been in like
I remember her like sitting outside the ring watching the winner. You know what I mean? Like she
Like
just
every
got
year.
eliminated.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Yeah.
always do that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I put her in there. But then this conversation, as it was going, I was like, oh, well, it's probably a good thing that I put her in my final four. So I at least have a chance of getting a point there since her odds seem to be a lot higher. But that's both of our final fours.
So I, thought it as well. Do I hedge my bet? Do I pick Bianca to win and not put her in the final four? No, I'm going to stay true as well. I'm going to put Bianca in the final four, but I'm going to hedge my bet by also putting Liv in the final four. If it's not going to be Bianca winning, I think it's going to be Liv. Let's put Liv in the final four. And then I'm trying to think of just like who else is somewhat prominent right now? Who else is like maybe a big enough name up and coming? And Lyra comes to mind a lot for me. So I put Lyra in the final four. And then you got to flip the script a little bit. Another newcomer, gonna be prominent, kind of involved on SmackDown right now. I'm going Jordan Grace for the final four.
Ooh, good pick. I forgot that she was floating around. Yeah. Damn, I didn't really think about any, like, not that anybody from NXT would maybe be in the final four, but like, I don't know. Who knows? Final four could really be anybody.
Sol Ruka faced fucking Bailey.
Dude, I was just about to say Sol Ruka. That was the name. Ah, damn. Anyway, that's not one of the picks. I was gonna have Bianca in the final four, but I don't know. I don't know if that's really a thing. When did she get injured?
Like a year ago.
Okay, it was that long
Literally,
ago. Damn,
I
didn't
think
realize
Mania
it's
was
been
her
that
last
long.
match. Yeah.
I think she was
All
hurt
right,
going into Mania. Or
Yeah, she was a
got
little
lost.
hurt going in, I think. Yeah.
So she definitely could be back. I'm not going to include her though. And Lyra, that's a good pick too. Whoever said Lyra, that was a good pick. But whoever mentioned before that all these, oh, with Charlotte and Alexa, that there's so many teams here. My final four are two teams. I went with Liv, Roxanne, Rhea, and Io. And somehow that playing out.
Yeah.
Those are my final four.
I do got to say, I know Alec has to put his picks out too, but the two that I withheld was Rhea and Io, and it was hard to withhold them from my
Yeah.
final four because they seem so like
We're all using the
almost
same pool
guaranteed.
of like six names, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It feels like the same pool, just swapping out one or two of them.
Yeah.
But
Rhea and Io very well could fucking start the Rumble.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. I got very different names, so this is out of
Oh,
everybody.
bro, you're gonna win then. You're gonna literally, you're gonna get it right.
Yeah.
100%. You got it.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. So I have Bianca in the final four. I have Liv Morgan. I'm going to keep my bet because that's who I think is going to win. Then I got Tiffany Stratton,
Ooh,
and then I
that's
got
good.
Chelsea Green.
Oh,
Okay.
You know, I was gonna
almost went
put
with
Chelsea too.
I
I was gonna
debated
fucking-
Chelsea. I definitely debated Chelsea. She was in like my pool of people, but I view Chelsea as more like that she's gonna have like the goofy elimination halfway through the Rumble or something, more than like actually making the final four. But Tiffany didn't even cross my mind, if I'm being honest, and that's a great pick. I wish I thought of Tiffany.
Tiffany's a fucking fantastic pick,
Yeah.
if I'm being
Honestly,
honest.
fuck.
slept on right
Yeah,
now. Tiffany's a slept on situation right now.
Yeah, she's like outside of her diehard fans on social media, she really hasn't been talked about,
Exactly.
and we
Yeah.
kind of all expect her to be back. She's not hurt, and she's getting the refresher that she needed because she was just on and facing the same people. She needed that time off television. That's a fantastic shout. And like to me, she kind of fits the slot of her elimination does not equate to her Mania plans. She ends up having that like strong showing, goes to the final four and gets eliminated by like a Rhea or something like
Yeah.
that, to drop it down to three, something along those lines. I completely forgot about Tiffy, and I'm not gonna lie. If I remembered her, I probably would have put her in my final four.
Yeah, she would probably replace Jordan in my final four. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats, Alec. You win. Like, yeah.
You know, I actually. Oh no, I mistyped. I did have Tiffy. I did have Tiffy. That's right. That's
Oh
right.
wait, same. Actually, now I think about it, I wrote it down wrong. I just
Yeah.
spelled it
Oh yeah, you know my
RHEA.
phone's been upside down this whole
Yeah,
time.
sorry,
Yeah, hold
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, except if she's not in, then
Yeah.
I actually meant to
Yeah.
do
Same.
Command V or whatever is redo.
Uh,
Who lasts the longest? It won't be Snowden. He will not be
Won't be
lasting the
Snowden.
longest.
It won't be so.
I went with someone. Again, this feels risky because Bianca's a repeat winner. This person, I believe, would be a repeat winner of this category. I went with Io. I think Io has already had a Rumble where she was the longest lasting. This, to me, this might be like where Sol Ruka gets her moment, or where, I don't know, Jordan Grace gets her moment where she has a super strong showing. But I went with Io, and this feels like a fucking toss up to me. Kevin went with Rhea, so we have the tag team split.
Longest lasting really could be anybody as well. It could be somebody they're making a name for. It can be Nia Jax, the biggest woman in the match in that sense of things. But typically, I feel like this moniker, longest lasting for the men and the women, is usually somebody they're trying to make a name for this year in the Rumble. They're not going to win the Rumble. They might not have the most prominent Mania matchup out of the Rumble, but this is like the slow establishment of said person. And I backed up my final four. If you're going to be in the final four, you could have came out at 30, but you might have came in at number 5 and lasted that whole way. I'm going Jordan Grace.
yeah. I'm gonna go back. I mean, I my answers written down. I had Jordan Grace as the longest. I agree with Snowden here. I feel like this is the moment where they use to build somebody up, and eventually they will win a Rumble. That's how I look at it. Like
Yeah.
they're going to eventually win a Rumble in a year or two. And Jordan Grace has got the call up. She's already like looking at the main title picture. I think she's going to show off her strength here and really have star moments in this match and be the longest lasting out of all the women.
It's like when I agreed with you about Tiffany being in the final four. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
I I'm realizing this might be a dumb pick, I'm putting a lot of eggs in this Roxanne basket here. But I got her at my first two, my final four, and I have her lasting longer too. Because if you're going to be in the first two of the final four, I guess you're probably going to last pretty long.
Yeah.
So I picked her, picked Roxanne.
You know, I'm
I
not gonna
also
lie.
think it's alright.
I didn't even think about having someone who's in my final four
That was the
if I
longest
have them
lasting.
kind of
Yeah,
towards
I
the
didn't think
beginning of the
that
Rumble.
either.
I probably should have put that thought into like some other like the men's Rumble.
Probably better off for getting points that you didn't though. Because if you're wrong, you're
Sure.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's
Sure.
like
Then you get
That's
it
true.
is.
then you get nothing.
It came to my mind, but it is like the final four is usually like three people that were like 25 onward, and then you
Mhm.
got to get lucky and get that one
Yeah.
person that did
Yeah.
come in at number 6 or something, whatever. So it is a tough guess, but doubling down with Jordan Grace.
Now the big one. Oh, this is a big one. The men's Royal Rumble. We assume the main event. Man, imagine if this didn't main event and it was like Sammy Drew.
Okay, that's better than what I thought you were getting at. Yeah.
No, 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 I don't think that would be the case. The men's Royal Rumble. I think I mentioned this before we came on. Just off the top of our head of us just quick shooting names, we came up with like 7 or 8 names that very well could win. Kevin went with one of those names that we mentioned. I went with one of the names that we mentioned. I'm going to save both of our picks, and Ryan's going to go
Oh,
first.
fuck. All right, cool. I'm going to tell you my thought process behind where I went with all of this because like you said, I don't know the names that you're mentioning. I imagine the pool. I had multiple people, and it really. I was saying this to Snowden earlier today that to pick the Royal Rumble winner and even picking the Final Four and all of that, you really have to think of obviously what they're going to do with Mania, but not just like the main event. You got to think of what the loser's now doing with Mania. So, like, if you have Roman losing or Roman winning, for example, just to use that name, now he has to. Who's he going against for the title? So now whoever you thought might have been going against for the title is not going for the title anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many moving parts. I have two names that I've narrowed it down to. One of them is Cody Rhodes. The other one is Jacob Fatu. I I want to pick Fatu. I feel like ultimately the goal is to get it back to Cody, maybe at Mania. I don't know. Like a 3-way, a 4-way, however they want to do that. But I think it goes to Cody. I don't want to pick Cody. I don't hate that it goes to Cody. I don't want to pick him, but I'm going to. I think he's going to get not the three-peat, the Steve Austin Rumble, the 3, whatever it was, the year in between. I think he's going to. I think he's going to win because I ultimately think it ends up with Cody again. I don't think he needs to win this to end up in that match, but I think he will in Saudi. I want it to be Fatu though, really bad. I want to pick Fatu, but hope I don't regret it.
Interesting. Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, he's the guy that, I mean, there's only so many 2-time Rumble winners, I guess, but he's the most likely to win a third at some point in his career, maybe than we'll ever see again. If it doesn't happen this year, Cody winning again is pretty likely. But the men's Rumble, man, the winner is tough. It is tough. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have locked in Sami Zayn. I would have locked it in, no problem. The problem is if you're not going to have Sami win the Rumble, you're not going to have him get eliminated from the Rumble in Saudi. So you put him in the big title match instead. The way they've built Gunther over this last year, retiring people left and right, about to retire somebody again, onward and upward for Gunther, it seems like that was the path until the Styles feud. And then that starts to change plans a little bit. Gunther very well retires Styles and then is still in the Rumble. But man, I don't know. There is a possibility of Gunther Brock. There's a lot of possibilities, but My biggest thought in my mind was we are due for a heel to win the Rumble. I think there's been Chris and I went over this. I don't even know if it was on pod or whatever, but Brock won what 3 years ago. Sure. Besides Brock winning that, there hasn't been a heel in a long time, and still we went back to back. Cody, Jay. Those are big uber babyface wins. It pains me to not pick Gunther, but I'm locking in Braun Breaker. I think I have changed course, and I'm a Braun Breaker guy winning the Rumble. I think he gets his moment, goes on to Mania, wins the championship at Mania, and we have established a new star in Braun Breaker. I'm gonna fucking regret that when Gunther wins the Rumble.
I like the Braun Breaker pick. I think it's a good pick.
A good pick.
I think Brock is gonna fuck him. I think
Bob,
Brock.
yeah, we discussed that. Chris and I
I think
discussed
Brock
that.
is
Yeah.
gonna fuck him, and if Brock is really retiring at SummerSlam, if that is a thing, that's a thing, right? Like in Minnesota,
It's in the air.
like in the air, like if that's really
Yeah.
a thing, we got to get this Braun match out the way. That's got to happen. We got to do Braun versus Brock.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know.
regretting my pick already because Chris and I talked about that, and I didn't really think about it. But yeah, I can see Brock eliminating the vision as a whole, realistically.
Well,
That's same. That's Brock's role in the Rumble. At least I think. But Braun was one of the people I thought was going to win. So I don't fucking know.
Kevin also picked Braun Breaker. As weird as this sounds, if Rollins returns, I don't think Rollins wins the Rumble.
No.
I think he returns and eliminates Braun Breaker. And we maybe get Brock eliminates Rollins, or Braun Breaker goes back into the ring and eliminates Rollins, something along those lines. It's crazy that you would think someone of Rollins' name and nature, and given that he was the champion and never lost it, that if he returned, you'd be like, oh, then he's going to win the Rumble. I don't think that's the case. I think if he's back, it's to set up the Braun Breaker match. But they very well could do that at kind of any point if he's not going to win the Rumble anyway. Shit, he could return if he's not fully healthy. He could return not even as an entrant and just fucking come through the crowd or some shit and toss Braun Breaker out. I don't think that's impossible, and it buys you a few more weeks, kind of similar to the build up to Mania 40, where you're finding every way to not have him actually wrestle until you get to when you need him to wrestle. I'll save the honorary Uso for last. I've been saying for months, Snowden's been saying for months, Gunther's going to win, and this Styles match it's about 75% been the reason for my sway, but I think 25% for the reason of my sway is seeing somewhat of what might be the vision for Mania. And if Cody was still champion, I would be placing bets Gunther's got this. With this Drew win, yeah, it's not impossible that Gunther wins and they're building towards Gunther Punk. But like a rematch from SummerSlam, I get it. Gunther wants to avenge that loss. Like, it's not impossible. But then you start doing what Ryan mentioned, and it's like, well, then what does this person do at Mania? What does this person do at Mania? And I fucking hate this. And it is chalky, just like my other pick. But I really think Saudi show, it's going to be Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really do.
I
And
had a feeling you were going to pick him.
I hate it. It's one of those where even as a defending champion and the face of the franchise, since I've got the weight of the title on my shoulder, if you gave me the option of me being right and Roman winning this, or me being wrong and like a Fatu wins, give me that way over being right on this. I would much rather be wrong and be genuinely surprised slash happy than be right and do the I told you so, because this is not an enjoyable I told you toujours.
Who do
Yeah.
you think Roman faces if he wins? Who do you see challenge? That was the one thing that like kept me from picking him, but I was like, I don't like we were saying you have to book Mania if you have to make a final decision. as to this person's getting a title match. There's so many people that could get a world title match, I feel like.
I
So
could
it's
genuinely
tough.
see that fatal four way if Rollins is good. I could see Braun Breaker winning the chamber and that being the curveball that this year, I mean, I tweeted about it earlier today. Like, I'm over the formulaic one winner faces this champion, and then the chamber winner faces the other champion. This is the year that they could kind of double up where the Rumble winner and the chamber winner both choose the same title. And you already have the Punk Roman issue. You already have the Braun Breaker Roman issue. You assume Punk at this point is going into Mania as champion. And then Rollins can just return 2, 3 weeks before, and it's, I never lost that title, and that guy fucked me, and I hate that guy, and I really hate that guy. And boom, there you go. There's a fatal four way, and that's a night two main event right there easily. So I guess that's kind of a route. At the same time, I could easily see the same exact thing happening with the WWE Championship, but I'm going to pick Roman, but I hate it.
I do got to say that fatal four way, I've sold myself in the last couple weeks that no matter how they can get there, I think that's the best thing they could do with that world title. If Seth can go, Roman, Seth, Braun, Punk, fatal four way, Braun goes over, wins the championship. He beat the three best guys, blah, blah, blah. I do have to say off the back of your pick, Roman, again, we talked like 8 or 9 names prior to starting this pod about the likely names to win the Rumble.
My bad, Chris. My bad, Chris. My bad.
Roman, I thought Roman for a minute. It crossed my mind, but I kind of had the same sentiment as Ryan just mentioned. I don't think the Roman match at Mania is as prominent. I can't really picture it in my head being for a championship. We'll pause for a minute. We'll let you get it out.
All right.
Did he just call me Roman?
Sorry, Roman. Sorry, Roman. Oh my goodness.
I don't even know. I have no fucking idea. I
It
have
was
no
so
idea.
quick and in passing.
I literally
And
couldn't
I
even tell
think
you.
it
I have no
was
idea.
just the way that you said it that it sounded like you were calling Chris Roman.
It sounded like
Oh my
The
god.
Roman pick, I said maybe. Maybe I called. Honestly, I have to watch it back. I have no fucking clue. I literally have no idea.
You'll see what we mean. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
I mean, out of the four of us, you look most like a Roman, so
Oh no. Here
Here
comes
comes
Roman.
Roman, Brock, Orton, Cody. I love all four of them. Those are by far the worst winners for this year's Rumble.
Well, thank God I don't got any of those.
I think I know where you're going.
Oh, we'll see. So, I talked about building up a character for a long time, long storytelling, especially for a face. There's a guy, I think it's time for him to get his moment, and I'm going with L.A. Knight
Yeah.
to win the Rumble. I think it's time. They took him off TV for a little bit, but I think he's paid kind of like Drew in a way. Drew's paid a lot of dues for this past like 2, 3 years, a lot of losses, very close to titles, very close to big moments, loses. Now, I think this is the moment. They took him off TV for a bit. They bring him out there. The crowd's electric. I mean, it's LA Knight. And in my head, kind of like what Ryan says, like you got to play that. Where do you see the storyline going? And I could see it going both ways. And I could see him going for the World Heavyweight Championship. I could see him going for the WWE Championship. So I'm going bold here, but I'm going LA Knight here.
Wouldn't it
I
be
don't hate it.
something?
LA crossed
I
my
like that
mind.
pick, bro.
LA crossed my mind. LA, I do think is in like the spot Drew was in around WrestlePalooza, where it's
Yeah.
kind of like now or never. And I do think LA is going to get that championship run within 2026. I'd like to say. I just decided I don't think it's going to be at Mania.
Wouldn't it be something if it came down to LA and Braun Breaker just won?
Dude, I think Knight is like, tell me if I'm crazy. I might be crazy, but a fatal four-way on the SmackDown side of things could be set up like just as easily. And like with a Knight win, you got so many people there. You got McIntyre, even like I guess Cody's there. Cody, you've got who am I missing right now? Fatu,
Fatu,
Batu, Zayn,
and
Drew.
Zayn. Exactly.
Orton.
There's you could really set something up nice there. I don't know. That
Yeah.
was something that like LA Knight's a great pick for that reason. Great pick.
I
He fits
said
right
it.
in.
I said in one of our videos that I would genuinely be okay if night one was a fatal four way for the WWE Championship and night two was a fatal four way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Like
Yep.
there's enough names, there's enough intertwined stories that last year's Mania was a fucking dud. They just like they got to not only do something out of left field, but have a little fun with this Mania, get the unpredictability back. They're creeping towards that with some of these decisions. We got the fucking Alpha Babes as the number one contenders for the Raw tag titles. Like they're getting there. That would be the easiest way where you get a fatal four way, fatal five way, whatever, and genuinely every person you can legitimately see winning the championship.
Yep.
I love that. I love it.
Who did
I think-
Kevin have? Kevin had Braun.
Kevin had Braun.
I like it. Good pick. Good pick.
We'll go to the first two in the men's rumble. Kevin had Braun Breaker and LA Knight. Which
Wow, he thinks Braun is winning from the beginning. Ooh,
he's
okay.
got Braun going from beginning to end. I put Jey Uso there. Think the entrance. Then I started thinking who starts it with Jay, and I ran into kind of a bit of a wall on who would be that number two. Yeah, I would hope not Jimmy. That'd be horrible. They're not in this like serious feud. I could see like a Bronson Reed or an Austin Theory, one of the kind of tallies in this Rumble where it's a good name, but they're not going to win. A Penta, I don't know. But I went with a pick that's going to reveal another pick. I think they just immediately get that Jericho return in the first two. And I think we get the crazy Jay entrance, and then we get Jericho's return, and it's this crazy big moment. And I've got Jey Uso and Chris Jericho as the first two in the men's rumble.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. You know what? I was gonna give mine, but I want to hear from the boys first. I want to hear from the honorary Oos. Who do you got?
All right. So I have Oba Femi coming out, getting the whole crowd going nuts. His
The
official
ruler.
call up to the main roster. And then for number two, oh, I got a phone call. Hold on.
I can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything. Yeah.
You can't hear it?
No.
No way.
I thought you actually got a phone call.
It's Kit Wilson.
I was
Is
gonna
it?
say, yeah, I figured it's Kit,
I
That's
heard it
fucking
for like
funny.
a split second. I heard it come through, but
I thought it was like a voicemail. I can see Kit
No.
Wilson.
Oh
Kit
my
Wilson
God,
and
that's
Oba.
so
Okay.
So I got Kit Wilson coming out just because of the entrance.
I mean, a Kit Wilson Oba standoff, even if it's not number one and two, like makes a lot of sense with the whole like anti-masculinity gimmick and Oba just being
that's what I
Oba.
went for.
Like I could see that spot happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Who do you got, Ryan?
Oh, I also picked Oba. I thought that was such a good pick. I was so excited to get it off, and then Alex stole it from me. I thought, honestly, I like that pick because it gives the crowd like the full attention for his entrance. I think it'll just like look. Not that you can't do it in the middle of the Rumble, but it would be really cool. I actually went with Oba, and I almost went with LA Knight, and I almost went with Jericho. LA Knight and Jericho facing off to start, I think would be cool. But I went with Braun and Oba because I think Braun will last the longest. Because Braun and Oba makes no sense. Because like Oba should come in and probably fuck everybody up and start throwing everybody out, but Braun and Oba will be awesome to see for a couple minutes.
It would be.
Just beating the shit out of each other. It would be cool.
So I feel like I had a similar thought process to Chris, where the Jay entrance makes a lot of sense. The Jericho entrance makes a lot of sense. But I feel like the Jay entrance I thought about it for a moment, and it almost makes more sense to happen in like the middle of the Rumble, and like the Rumble almost pauses to watch Jay come out, and then he gets in the ring and he eliminates some heel, and then they run it back in the middle of the Rumble. Jericho. If Jericho's not
God.
like one, Jericho is like 30. Like I don't think Jericho maybe comes out in the middle there. I know Ryan loved that pitch, but
Bro, that it's hard. The run it back is like the worst. It's horrible. Like I can't believe that he gets worse and worse. I can't believe it. The run it back is the worst thing ever.
So, back to the first two for the women, I was trying to think like a moment, Nia, Maxine, David versus Goliath type thing. And I was trying to think of a moment for the men, but it was a little bit harder for the men to think of a moment like that. So I just kind of went with like, what's like that first 5 minute like match you can put on to really open the Rumble, start the crowd off hot. I wanted to throw some heels in there, but two names that just spoke to me were Ilya Dragunov and Javon Evans. Those two guys just kind of opposite brands, haven't touched, open the show. Crowd loves them both. That could be just like a hot start 5 minutes. It's probably wrong, and it's random as could be. But Ilya Dragunov, Javon Evans.
Javon's good. It's a good pick.
That'd be fire.
Like it.
It'd be bouncy. It's the worst fucking catchphrase.
Yeah, horrible.
It's so bad. He's bouncy. It's
Yeah,
fucking
boy.
so bad.
Bouncy. Love
Yeah.
Javon, but
Love
your
Javon,
boy
yeah.
should change it.
Yeah, and then Jordan Grace should change it.
Final four. So it's
Final
interesting.
Mhm.
It's interesting because similar to the women, we're probably working out of the same pool of people. The problem is that pool's got like 5 more names in it. And
Yeah.
that kind of really opens the door.
Yeah, 100%. It's horrible.
Kevin has Roman, Cody, Jericho, Braun.
I feel like we're.
too-
Oh, continue. I thought
No.
you were pausing.
No good.
Okay. I feel like we're gonna kind of have similar ones here. I don't think we're gonna differ too much. I think the final four women might have some like up and comers, but I think Saudi, the final four men, is gonna be like the showstoppers, the main eventers. Braun, my winner. LA, Cody, and then I debated hedging my bets and putting Gunther in 4, but I'm gonna go Roman 4. Braun, LA, Cody, Roman.
Yeah, I got similar picks too. I almost put Jericho in there just depending on where he comes out in the Rumble. If he comes out towards the end, I could see him being in that final 4 pool. But he'll probably towards the beginning. I think that's a hot way to start off, or at least somewhere towards the beginning. I went with Cody, Roman, Brock, and Fatu. I think, like you said, it's going to be heavy hitters. Yeah, Cody, Roman, Brock, Fatu. I think it's probably coming down to Cody and Roman. To be honest, I just think that's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but I do think that'll happen.
My 4, who I have, is Brock, Cody, Fatu, LA Knight.
We all got similar ones here.
Yep, mine is not too different as I type Alex. I have Roman, Cody, Fatu. And then that 4th spot feels as, was it you, Ryan, or was it Snowden that said there's normally like 3 and then the 1? This is the one we're saying there's big hitters. One of the big hitters, maybe you consider Fatu as that extra guy. I put Oba. I think either
Debated it.
Oba or Trick have a good shot at being at the worst 5th last when there's some
Yeah.
big names. Maybe when there's like 8 guys in the ring and it's Roman, Braun Breaker, Cody, Fatu, Brock, whatever. Then it's Oba and Trick. And it's like, man, look at like we've got maybe we get a repeat of the 2018 Rumble where it's 3 or 4 of the past and 3 or 4 of the future, something along those lines. I could see the final 6.
That would be fire.
I could see the final 6 being like Oba, Braun, and Trick, and they're the future. And it's like Roman, Cody, and Brock, and it's the past. Like I could see something along those lines. There's definitely more names in the mix. If Jericho was in there, wouldn't shock me. LA Knight genuinely could be there. You know, Orton could be
Yeah, I
in
was about to
there.
say, how we feel about Orton? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orton could be there. I think Orton fits the bill of like his Mania match. I don't want to say it's directly set up, but we start to see the direction come out of the Rumble at least. And I don't know if that comes out of the Final Four, so I stayed away from Orton. But yeah, every name we all mentioned here, for whatever's different, is plausible. These are all very plausible Final Fours. A lot of us are going to line up here.
There is
Yeah.
another name I'm surprised none of us mentioned, Tatanka.
I did get it right when I guessed he was going to be in that Andre Battle Royal. So,
You did.
Yo, that's crazy.
Longest lasting.
Mhm.
Ryan, I believe you already said your answer, correct?
Yeah, I went with Braun.
Kevin actually has Orton,
Oh,
Interesting.
that's
which is
super interesting.
which is very interesting. I I went with Javon. I went with
Ooh.
Javon. With thinking
Interesting.
of like when I was talking about Sol Ruka before, Javon kind of fits that bill where maybe the longest lasting isn't 50 minutes this year,
Mhm.
but statistically he is the longest lasting one at 35 or whatever. Because there's just so many big names that it wouldn't shock me if a lot of people don't have as long of a stay as you would think. So I went Javon. I think that's kind of his highlight. Or Javon's gonna have the moment where he's the next Kofi or whatever
Yeah.
and has this great moment of he's bouncy and he bounces from the top rope onto the announce table and doesn't get eliminated or something.
I was going to say, to that pick, Javon Evans is most likely to get thrown over the ropes and bounce back into the ring. So,
Yeah.
I could see the false eliminations happening a lot with Javon. Verse or Buck, lost my track where I was reading. Longest lasting. Uh, I didn't debate between too many people on this. I still went with like an up and comer. I was between like two or three names. Fatu ran through my mind a lot. I thought Fatu could get that spot. I don't think he's quite going to win the Rumble. How else do you really showcase him and keep him a credible threat while he's involved with Cody, Drew, the championship, and so on? You give him that moment. But I don't think there's anybody that has the potential that Obafemi has had or has right now in a long time. I think this is where you can really establish Oba, and he doesn't have to win the thing, but I think Oba's longest lasting.
Yeah, piggybacking off that again, Snowden. I have him, as my number one pick coming out, and I think this is where the buildup of the video packages from all these weeks, and then them finally announcing that he's going to be in the Rumble. This is the moment where they're going to have him come out very early. Like I said, I haven't predicted coming out one or two, and him lasting very long in this match, like five, final six type of thing. And it takes like all the big stars to eliminate him. And he will finally get that huge moment, on the upcoming episodes, whatever show he lands on. But he's going to be, oh, I'm so excited the future for Oba and where he's going to be in the next few weeks because we're really going to start seeing that because he's going to have a massive match at Mania, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, I envisioned with Oba, he obviously had that match with Cody. So I envisioned like the Oba Cody kind of stare down in the Rumble, and I don't think that's going to come till later. I'm glad you mentioned how you did because I can see it needing Roman, Cody, Braun Breaker, like all the big dogs to team up to eliminate Oba. But I also do see a world where it's final six or final seven, and Oba throws Brock over those ropes, and then Brock can't believe it, runs back in, F5, throws him out, and that's how they set up the eventual Oba Brock Mania match, if that's the route they go. But we'll see.
Do we think Jericho returns? I have yes. Kevin has yes.
Yes,
For sure.
I could
locked in.
see, yeah. Since we've all said yes, I could see them not having him return. I could see him like coming out on Raw. Like I really
Dude, it'd be
could.
so annoying.
I,
You're
I
right,
could
though.
see it. I could honestly see it. I think part of it is like the talent pool is so deep that it does take a slot away from somebody that could maybe get it as well. But the Saudis want people that aren't alive. They're paying top dollar for Jericho if he's available. So I see it happening.
You're not wrong.
They really are just. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I meant to mention I got Yokozuna in my top four, final four. Yeah,
Yeah, Ultimate
yeah,
Warrior.
yeah.
Our final prediction. Who comes out first? Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns? Kevin and myself picked Cody, but I was thinking about it. I feel like that's so obvious. And since I have Roman winning, I think Roman's going to win from like a lower number that I
Mm.
already hate that I picked Cody. But we both picked Cody.
I like the Cody pick. I'm going to back it. I'm picking Cody myself. I think it is obvious, but I think it's obvious in the sense that it's obvious, like it's going to happen that way. I think when you look at this Rumble card, who's being promoted, who's Jericho's not being promoted, but I'm sure they're getting him there if that's the plan. But Roman is like the biggest deal, I think, for the audience they're performing in front of this Saturday. I think that's like when you got to those 20s, 21 onward, and they're waiting for like, they know Roman's coming and he gets that 27, 28, 29 entrance, whatever. I think Roman comes out after Cody.
I have Roman coming out over Cody. Just because of the build up again. I'm just going off the advertisement, especially for Roman. I feel like he's going to come out early, get the crowd in it. I don't think they're going to want to pay all this money just to see Roman come out at like 27, 25. I think he's going to come around like 15, like midway, but last a long time. Cody comes out in the 20s. That's where I'm thinking, just because of just base off the advertisement for him and literally the special commercial they used for Roman's announcement and naming, literally Roman, right, whatever the,
Ryback?
no, yeah, um,
Right back.
got me off guard. But yeah, just like them using his advertisement, I think that's why I'm going to go Roman here.
I picked Cody, but I hope it's Roman comes out. I would like Roman to be wrecking how, like just destroying everybody, and like Cody, his nemesis music hits, and he's like, oh, here we go. Even though he like, I would pick Cody.
You know,
I think
I, I
Cody will come
think
out first.
I think out of all the big stars, like obviously there's only one winner, and we've said there's however many that have potential to win. But the biggest star that has the most potential to come out early to me is I think Cody. I think Cody's the guy that most fits the bill to come out from like 1 to 15, where the Brock coming out number one or whatever, that one Rumble was a spectacle in and of itself. They did that for a reason. But like the Brocks, the Romans, the Ortons, those vets, main event guys, those are like 20 onward type names. I don't predict Orton coming out at 3, like I just see Roman being long haul, save him to the end.
Yeah, the early numbers is for the Javons, the
Hmm.
Pentas, the returning Chad Gables, the El
Yeah.
Grandes. The ones that go a little bit longer, have some more high spots, whatever. Uh, I just thought of this. Fucking Logan might be longest lasting.
Oh God,
Well, so
I almost picked him for one.
my thing is like the whole way the vision got put into the Rumble, like Adam Pierce. I'm going to put all you guys in. We've kind of talked already. Brock maybe has something to do with the vision getting eliminated. I think there's going to be a moment where it's like Theory, Bronson, Logan, at least the three of them, if Bron's not in yet, as the only guys in the ring, like waiting for the next person to come out. But I think that next person might be Brock, and he might just eliminate all of them.
Did you guys see that recent video? It might have even been from today from Logan, like with Heyman in it, where
I don't think
Heyman's
so.
claiming that Brock is going to come and help Braun win the Rumble.
I think I read this
I
that
didn't see
Heyman
that.
had a plan.
I
Someone like
also didn't watch the video. I like read the transcript from the video, but I think it was from today after Brock got announced. I might be wrong again. I didn't watch the video, but interesting. That led to like some of my thinking with Brock getting Braun out of there, and I'll try to find it after this and send it.
Yeah. It
You
feels
know,
wide open.
it does feel wide open. I do. This is obviously not a tiebreaker or anything, and we're likely to get Jericho. We're likely to get a returning Chad Gable. But I gotta ask, if we could get one surprise, anybody has to be alive. Anybody that's alive, who do you want to see in the Rumble?
I got one off rip.
Oh,
Jeff Hardy.
Oh,
perfect.
that's a good
That would
one.
be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. My mind goes a lot to like the other companies right now. We might get a Mr. Iguana spot here in the Rumble. He's been pretty
Oh.
popular. You know, we could get
Yeah.
that. But we talked about it a little bit last week as well, Chris. My mind goes to Santana a lot. Like Santana, I think is fitting. I just don't. He hasn't been that prominent in like the WWE crossover stuff, though. He's been on NXT a little bit, but he hasn't been as relevant as Joe Hendry was.
My mind doesn't go to Santana. My mind goes to Santino.
Yeah.
That fits the bill perfect. Like Jeff or Matt fit the bill obviously
Yeah.
perfect for the Saudis. I think I'd argue Santino fits it even better.
Oh, you ain't kidding, bro. You are not kidding. I want to see
Santino
a
would be
Cobra.
great. Yeah. Now, Alec, who do you got? Who do you want to see?
I would go like the Hardys. I mean, just either on the
Yeah.
Hardys, either Jeff or Matt. I mean, I'll be very stoked. I feel like we could definitely get one of them. Jeff would obviously get more of a reaction, but again, we grew up watching both of them, and I'd be happy with either or coming out.
Both would be cool.
That's what I
They'd
said.
be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, both would
That'd
be
be
cool.
great. Jeff can show up anytime, anywhere, and I'm happy with it. But they've fallen off the last couple of years of doing like legends in the Rumble because the roster pool is so deep now. Like we don't really get like the Hurricanes anymore and shit like that. But this is the year in Saudi, if they were to do it, that we do get like a hillbilly Jim or somebody, somebody random as fuck is going to be in the Rumble.
I say this half jokingly. Is it impossible that Edge returns here?
It crossed my mind the other day. It really did because Edge put out. I didn't even watch the full clip, but he put out something talking about the Rumble return.
6 year.
I don't know when the last time he was on AEW TV even was, but it's really not impossible.
Dude, it was like October the last time he was on AEW, or
And they kind of like,
I gotta leave, I gotta go away.
yeah.
Just talking to Christian about going away. I think honestly they're doing it so we have this exact conversation right now, and he'll return next week on AEW. Like, but I think he'll be back for next year's Mania in Saudi. I think Edge will be back.
Yeah.
Next year's Mania.
They're gonna give him bread. He's gonna leave AEW, their Toronto show, and he's gonna.
Yeah.
The Rock didn't come out.
Is that 44?
That would be 43.
43.
WrestleMania 43 Legends House is what we're going to fuck.
Bro,
Yeah.
like, you ain't kidding, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Tony Atlas headlining.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
anybody.
I try to think like when we were kids and there was like those legends that would pop up, there was like, not that there was more legends, but it was more like relevant. A lot of those like early Attitude Era guys, Ruthless Aggression guys, Golden Era guys, we've either seen them get that Rumble spot already or like they're almost just not relevant enough. There's not many names that come to mind for me out of those eras that like I fucking love RVD, but we've seen RVD get that spot 2 or 3 times already, you know?
There's one left.
Who do you got?
I don't even know if he fucking has been in a ring in the last 10 years.
Oh wait, can I bring up a random name first? Is it Monty Brown?
No.
Okay,
That was the
Why would it
most
be Monty Brown?
I don't know. That was
random
just the
name.
name that I thought of. I was, bro, it's got to be
Period.
Marcus Corbat.
He would,
It's gotta be.
He'd be Marcus Corvan. The one. Did we ever get the X-Pac Rumble return?
Yeah, listen. If it
And he looks
happens the
good,
one
too.
year I didn't fucking say it, I'm gonna be pissed. Yeah, the 1 year where I'm not locking in X-Pac, you know, he was so ready the 1 year. It should have been him.
Dude, sorry, he's like 60 years old with
Yeah.
like an 8-pack.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's hilarious too, we talk about this. I was recently saw clips of when Piper and Snuka were in the Rumble. Man,
Can't be worse than that.
they couldn't.
They look literally like they have bags
Yeah.
under their clothes.
So
Like
that
that is how big they look. They look like they have pillows.
Bags of milk.
What year was that? Like 2011, 2010-ish, you know?
2008, I think.
No,
That's
it's
2008
the
even?
scene- it's
That's in the
in
garden.
Oh, it
That's
is.
in the
It is in the
garden.
garden. You're right. It's in the garden.
Yeah.
That is in 2008, and it's like they pulled it from the future. It's like it was in 2022 or
Dude,
something.
literally,
You know,
bro.
like, yeah. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though.
I'd like to see a
Should be a
Mr.
good
Kennedy.
show.
Give
I
me
would
Mr. Kennedy.
love Mr. Kennedy. Would
That's
love
fine.
Mr. Kennedy.
He's talked about it recently too.
He
Yeah.
said he
He's
wants to
been
come
talking
back.
a lot. I know.
Yeah.
He returned to TNA. He had a TNA
Yep.
match,
Yep.
a moment there. So
He's actually in Juggalo Championship Wrestling right now.
is he really?
Dude, he just went
Him and
against
JBL.
He went against Ziggler. He went against James Storm. JBL just signed there. Like they low key are randomly they have a bunch of random people involved. RVD just said, "Bro, they've got something going." Yeah,
Whoever
Yeah.
does the
They've got
Well-
something going, all right.
yeah, you ain't kidding.
whoever does the worst for the Rumble has to get the Juggalo, the Hatchet Man tattoo right under the
Oh,
all like a teardrop.
God.
Yeah.
God.
The winner of the
I'll get a yeet
AARP.
tattoo.
Oh, you got to get
Before
it
I
just
do
like
that.
Cody, just like Cody on the neck.
All right, we will be live. Rumble reactions. We'll post videos, whatnot. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm so excited for the Rumble. Just please don't suck. Please don't suck. Actually, one last thing I wanted to mention. Do not bring back that fucking tracker at the bottom.
I wouldn't hate like if you minimize it, put it in the corner
Yeah,
or something.
a
I don't
revised
need
version of that.
I don't need
Yeah.
the whole bottom bar cutting off part of my screen. I don't need it. Yeah.
The entire time.
And like I get
No.
what they were trying, but it didn't work. A revised version, like I'll take some of it, but get it off the fucking screen.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
that's all I
Well,
got.
That's all I got. This Saturday, C2 Wrestling right here on YouTube.
Make it happen, Cam.
Yep.
Big Howard.